Hello, my name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that focus on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. Our different platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions and debates on all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education have played a role and currently play a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures in order for us to live up to our bold slogan: support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, that also translates as recreating and co-creating spaces both socially and politically in order for our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we do write thought pieces every other Sunday, and we have one scheduled to drop this upcoming Sunday, so definitely be sure to check out our website once you're done watching the video. And for those of you who are on the go and unable to watch via YouTube, we are also available on 6 different podcast platforms. So definitely be sure to take us with you on the go and engage with us via any of the platforms that are listed in the description below. As is the convention, definitely be sure to subscribe. Hit that post notification bell so that you're aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like these conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share. Let's get into it. Welcome to another segment. This week our focus is on mental health, and on this channel we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. So I'm not sure if you watched the last video that we uploaded this Tuesday, but if not, we had a big announcement. Our storefront went live this week and we were able to launch one of our 4 e-modules. We were able to launch autonomy. So if you're interested in doing one of our parent-child workshops for children aged 4 to 8, 9 to 13, or 14 through to 17, definitely be sure to check out the courses that we offer online. And we offer a digital learning environment. So even as you do the course, you can upload all of your responses in the medium that you prefer. So you can upload your responses, be it video, where they're written answers, whatever the case might be, in our members only area on the platform, available through the app that coincides with Project Purpose. So definitely be sure to check that out. We're super excited and expect big launches all of June. There's lots going on and we're super thrilled that we're in a position where we can finally share our modules with you. So as the description of this video states, I wanted to talk more about intention. And I wanted to talk about intention because I use the word a lot. As a few people have mentioned to me, it's a word that I use quite frequently in all of my videos. So I wanted to do a deeper dive on this word, on sort of this idea of intention and how it's beneficial to our mental health. One of the reasons why people struggle with mental health is feeling a sense of disorientation. So sometimes when we feel lost, when we have not a real sense of our purpose, of our raison d'etre, of our reason being, it can really be a discombobulating experience. It's a very heavy feeling to feel as though we don't have a sense of direction, or we don't have a sense of purpose, or we really don't know why we are doing the things that we put our energy into. We're just sort of going through the motions. And I think this act of going through the motions and of living day by day on autopilot is a byproduct of not living with intention. And so because of that, because I want to always be very mindful of where my energy goes, and because I recognize that where my energy goes, there's lots of value in that. That recognition is sort of the foundation of intention, recognizing that my energy, where I put my time and attention, has value, and recognizing that not all of the energy that I bring is up for sale. And I think this idea of commoditizing energy, and we don't really talk about it that way, but that's kind of what capitalism is, your energy is for money and you get paid for the energy you put into things. But then, it sort of devalues energy, because energy isn't just something we swap for a couple bucks, to go drink on the patio. Not that I haven't had a couple of drinks on the patio, but you need to reserve some energy to put into the things that you love. And I think that's what intention is recognizing we all as human beings have a fundamental need to reserve energy for ourselves and to put it into something that gives us a sense of direction, that brings meaning to life and feeds into a sense of our own personal fulfillment. Now, the best case scenario is that you find yourself in a position where that is what you do for money. The best case scenario is that how you make your living is really the way that you live with intention. And I think that not many of us have the opportunity to find a way to make a living working in an area that sort of feeds into our sense of intention, where every waking moment we're putting energy into something that really drives us and ignites us and that we're very passionate about. So for those of us who don't fit into that bucket, it's really very important, in order to not feel lost or feel like, life is losing meaning, to carve time where you are finding that meaning or creating that meaning on your own, because we need that. Our energy at its core is meant to be put into things from which we derive meaning. And I think that modern society might have diminish the value of that. But I think once we rediscover that value, that our energy has value, and that value is meant to sort of be put into the things where we derive meaning, then it's harder to feel lost, and it's harder to feel disoriented and to feel like we're directionless. And I think intention is just recognizing that each day I carve out time from which I will derive meaning or create meaning that really drives me, and recognizing that my energy is too important for my own mental health and well-being to be frivolous with, because energy and time is something we simply don't get back. And one of the things I promised to myself, even as a small child, because my great grandma is alive and she talked a lot about her stories. And a lot of the times, even like when you're talking to any elderly person, you hear a lot of the regrets, right? When you're talking to people from different generations and you kind of get a sense of their stories and get a sense of, how they live their lives, there are occasions where those stories are layered with regret. And I remember as a child, like I'd hear a few of these stories and I'd hear some of the regret that the people who were older than me would sort of display, or sometimes you even hear it in their voice. And I promised myself I really didn't want that. I didn't want to ever, at any point in my life, like talk about my life with like this tinge of regret at the corners of it. And it means that I lived a really very animated life. That's the only way that I can put it, like animated. And sometimes not animated in the way that I personally prefer. Like sometimes the animation is even more than I care for. But not one regret, like I've learned a lot. Like I've definitely had periods of remorse. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. But those memories, I wouldn't be who I am now had I not made those mistakes, right? So I don't regret those, but there's no missed opportunity. There's no opportunity that I really wanted that I didn't take. And it's simply because of this commitment that I made to myself that I didn't want to live with regret. And I found just in time that I needed to be very intentional. I needed to be very mindful about my energy and where I put my energy. And when I took my energy back, especially, is something that we don't think a lot of. But I think that intention is not just about where we place our energy. It's when we recognize like there needs to be a limit and we need to at this point take our energy back and put it somewhere else. And I think that thinking about things within that frame, I think a lot within the frame of energy and like how much I value my energy, because I have all these dreams that I'd like to manifest, and I have this limited amount of time to do it. So because of that, I don't apologize for being intentional about where my energy goes, and I don't apologize about withdrawing my energy from a specific source and placing it somewhere else, because I need to live my life fully, right? I'm all about living your best life. YOLO, that's my thing. And because of that, it means that there's constant movement in my life. There's constant movement. I'm constantly adapting, and I'm constantly being intentional about that movement, about the ways that I'm adapting, and about where I'm putting my energy and where I'm withdrawing my energy. Maybe, you know, later down the road, I'll put my energy back there. But again, it's really about living life, recognizing that I need to put my energy in places where I derive meaning in order for me to live a fulfilling life, so that when I speak to my children and my grandchildren, I don't tell them stories that are tinged with sadness and with regret. I can tell them stories filled with excitement and with adventure and with, you know, suspense, because I think that that's the large majority of the stories that I've accumulated, because I've had this sort of recognition that there are two ways to live our lives. We can live our lives safely, and I think that part of us dies when we live our lives. Like, part of us doesn't need to be as active, and it sort of diminishes when we live life safely. And later we realize that, you know, we had it within us to be a little bit more daring, where we could live life more daring, and like, you know, there's no and like when you live your life daring, like you get a lot of scrapes and bruises. Like I've gotten a lot of scrapes and bruises as a result of it. But when I think back, like I'm just so proud. Like I'm just so happy that I did that, and that I took those leaps of faith. And it took like real intention, because it's a leap of faith. So you kind of get a sense, it's like, you know, like I'm either going to break both my legs on this jump or gonna find a way to survive it. And, you know, luckily I've not broken both of my legs, but the surviving part has definitely been a process. So when we think about intention, it's really about recognizing that your energy in and of itself has value, and giving all of your energy away for money is devaluing your energy. And I think that recognizing that, to not feel directionless, to not feel lost, even if you're not working in a career that's aligned with where you derive meaning, it means that every day you take some of your energy and you put it in an activity, in a hobby, or in a person. It doesn't matter what it is, but where you feel fulfilled and where you derive meaning. And even if it's just an hour a day, it's enough to fill you with a sense of purpose, with a sense of direction. And so when I say intention, that's really what I mean. It's about being very sort of clear about where you want your energy to go and what you're going to pull your energy from in order to get there. So that was this talk. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I mean, being intentional with my energy has been leaps and strides for my mental health. I mean, it hasn't diminished the stress or the excitement in my life, but it gives the stress and the excitement in my life a little, you know, a little color. So anyways, I always enjoy chatting with you. It's a lot of fun. And I even sometimes, like when I'm speaking, I'm like, like the words kind of flow. It's a bit of an improv sometimes. And when I'm speaking and I'm saying these things out loud, I recognize I'm like, this is like from really deep within. Like this wasn't like, you know, like off the cuff. It was like something that came from deep within. And that happens because of these chats with you. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to experience that, like hidden truths from deep within. It should be a series. In any case, thank you so much for tuning in. Definitely be sure to check out our storefront. It is live. And again, June, big movements, lots of waves. So if you haven't joined our members area on our website, definitely be sure to do that. And until next time, we'll speak to you soon.
I just feel like